a real long trip. Take my best friend's flag to the wall up in Washington, D.C. I was wondering if y'all mind saying a prayer for us.
If you would like to present this, sir, for you to take to Washington with you. This letter is dated Trey Maddox. Subject is the Vietnam of Arnold Walter Aldrich.
I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna cross that river. I'm gonna catch tomorrow night. You're gonna wanna hold me just like I always told you. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
What we're doing is we're starting a journey to Washington, D.C. to take my best friend's flag and shadow box with his medals and ribbons to the wall, Vietnam Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C.
Now, what is the awareness you're trying to raise?
What I'm trying to do is to make sure that what happened to the Vietnam veterans when we came home from Vietnam, as far as taking care of our emotional and physical trauma and dealing with our problems with life brought on by the war, doesn't happen to these kids that are coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan today. I'm not willing to stand by and watch these kids get treated over the next 30 years how the Vietnam veterans were treated the last 30 years. In other words, when we got home, once we got discharged, they pretty much said, bye, have a nice day.
I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna cross that river. I'm gonna catch tomorrow night. You're gonna wanna hold me just like I always told you. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Nobody here will ever find me, but I will always be around. Just like the songs I leave behind me, I'm gonna live forever now.
In 1985, I lost a dear friend, a mentor, a role model, a man I truly loved and respected, a man among men. His name was Walter Kerman Arlen. He was a decorated war hero from Vietnam. He served with valor and distinction in combat, and they gave us 15 minutes in the chapel and a pine box to bury him because he was destitute, because his bones had started to dissolve inside of his body, and he died a horrible, lingering, slow death. Walter was an incredible man. Walter died from Agent Orange. I held him in my arms when he weighed 78 pounds in the VA hospital in Houston and watched him die because of exposure to a chemical that was sprayed upon him by the United States government and Dow Chemical. He was a valiant and valued warrior.
That river, I'm gonna catch tomorrow night.
I would like to introduce some of the people here today, Bob Peterson, myself, Harry Wetz, and this is for your friend who was killed in action in Vietnam in 1968 with the United States Army. If you would like to present this, sir, for you to take to Washington with you. This letter is dated Trey Maddox. Subject is the Vietnam of Arnold Walter Aldrich, and the letter of appreciation. The time is the Republic of Vietnam of 1968 and the branch of the United States Army. This letter is written to extend to you the personal thanks, to a sincere appreciation to the nation, his honorable service. He helped to maintain the security of the United States of America, his devotion to God, his duty, his family and friends, and to keep in the proud tradition of the United States Army.
This is a representation of the Purple Heart right here. This gentleman, you don't earn it, you just get it. he certainly is one who did earn it. There's a title to it. And it reads, Sergeant Walter K. Aldridge, Jr., U.S. Army, Vietnam, 1968. Known only to the Lord and 6 Vietnam buddies.
Ready or not, here we come. You got any stories, any other brothers that fell that you'd like to share with us?
I got a brother of mine that was a tunnel rat in Vietnam. And him and I used to sit down and party, and I used to sit by his bedside, taking him to bed, and make sure that he didn't get out and kill somebody just for the dreams he was having or whatever it was. I can't imagine the shit he went through. It was nothing like I went through. But I was there by his side, and I saw him pass away.
Got injured over there, bomb went off on the truck I was riding in, knocked out 4 of my teeth, part of my jawbone on this side, cracked my lower back, so I got medically discharged, separated from the service as of last year, November. So
Let me ask you a question. Has the government taken care of you since you got home?
it's been a struggle. I mean, it's not like what we expecting. You know, I'm still having problems getting my disability.
You know, people don't understand that they've actually forgot about us.
I can't stand it anymore. I can't stand it anymore. I can't stand it anymore.
You don't wear stuff like that and not come away just a little bit different than it was before that first round went off.
That's a fact.
Or the third one, or the 10th one, or the 20th.
I made a decision in 2007 to honor Walter and all the others who also fell after the fact, to take his flag in a shadow box with his unit citations, his medals, and his ranks to the wall in Washington, D.C. On October 6, 2007, I left San Antonio with the film crew on my motorcycle. My youngest brother snuck up on me, and he rode with me 5,000 miles to Washington, D.C. and back to deliver Walter's flag to the wall. With Walter's flag and his name, I carry every Vietnam veteran who has come home, put a bullet in his brain, died of a heroin overdose, been left homeless, could not reassimilate into society, and has fallen since then because of their sacrifice in Vietnam. I also carry the future. History has shown us one thing. It is that there will always be war, and the young and the proud will always fight them, and the old and the greedy will always make them. We cannot turn our backs on these patriots. We owe them all of our support for them and their families from now until they can stand on their own 2 legs, walk out in the street, and be a productive part of society. You cannot be trained as a warrior, thrown into knee-deep bloody combat, and then sit in Times Square and said, "Have a nice day. See ya. Don't bother us anymore." That's not how it works. We owe them whatever it takes to make them a productive part of society again. Thank you and have a nice day.
Survivor's guilt is one of the most terrible guilts there is. I have 17 friends on that wall, and it was hard for me, it took me a week going up there, and I took all the old pictures, and I wrote them all letters, and I left it, you know, and I left there, and that wall pulled the last vestige of anger and hate out of me and healed. The last big healing I got was up there. All right, Trey, same story. You ready, man? I got the safety on for you. That's it.
Goodbye, my darling, hello, Vietnam. A hill to take, a battle to be won.
Yeah, you see why I think it's important that we help these boys come home. You don't want some of these kids out on the street with an attitude.
Yeah, because they've been turned.
You take a highly trained individual like us and you shit on them, give them the wrong attitude, and then you're going to make somebody in Hollywood rich because they're the sons of bitches that do that.
Kiss me goodbye, my sweetheart.
Wow, so that was framed up perfectly.
I don't mess around.
I was pulling rear and a VBIED, none of y'all know what a VBIED is, a vehicle-borne IED, suicide bomber, it's a fancy way of saying it. I hesitated long enough for me to get wounded because I knew what was coming, but I didn't have clearance to fire. And I hesitated, and I'm pissed off about it. I'm pissed off because everyone knows here that ROE changes from, day to day. You see a car coming, you fire. Well, you got to watch where you fire because your round's coming down somewhere in the city. Right. They bitch about that. Fire left to right or right to left. You're supposed to go left to right. Can you believe that? The driver's on the right side. Then you fire at the block. I mean, good grief, man. By then it was too late. So I got a round off. I got my face blown up.
Spider John is my name, friends. I'm in between freight signs, sure would be obliged. I could share your company.
You guys got me in a corner, and I requested to be out of a corner because I don't like being in a corner.
Yeah.
If I'm in a corner, I'm not going to act right. Don't like being in elevators. And PTSD is, you don't ask for it. It just shows up.
If this can help out anybody, I hope it helps out that soldier that's feeling you know, a little bit of what might be PTSD, you know, to get help as soon as possible. Don't wait, because it's just gonna get worse and worse and worse until you can't control it. So to grab control of it early and try to get it taken care of quick, that's what I hope that soldier can do.
And I get a phone call, and it's the rear D first sergeant telling me you just lost 2 guys in the unit that Bradley got blown up, and the families need that house. So I was like, hey, no problem, we're out of here. Same night, my son starts mouthing off to my wife, and it's a 2-story house with hardwood floors. And that kid was in the hallway talking shit to his mom, and I ran up and grabbed him around the neck and threw him into the wall, and just punched him as many times as I could before I had to just realize, you know, I'm going to kill him. But the look on his face.
With a loaded hand, taking ransom. And then one day I met Diamond Liv. She was the sweetest thing.
I woke up one night and I had my wife up off the ground by her throat. And she saw that side of that we all have that I never wanted her to see. And I never told her anything until after that night. And that's when I came clean. And as far as sleep, I'm still on 13 different medications for pain, sleep, anxiety, depression, the whole 9. And all my wife, and God bless her, I love her to death and I'm my daughter, but she continually asks, when are you going to get off your meds? And it's like, you know, we've already tried that.
The only reason I'm here is to show my respect to my brother vets, combat vets. It's like, it doesn't matter what war, what generation, all of that shit is just shit. The fact is, if you've been in combat and you guys have, like we have, there's a brotherhood there, man. It'll never be erased, man.
I had 4 or 5 friends. We all volunteered, we all served, we all made it home. I'm the last living one, me and Jesse. We're the last 2, out of about 6 of us. They all blew their brains out. And I'm telling you, that's the end of post-traumatic stress disorder. That's the end of a chicken shit country that trains millions of dollars worth of training for these guys and sends them over. And then allows them to be mistreated, you know? And they call it a political faux pas and that nonsense, but it's bullshit. You know, if we're gonna have a strong country, we need to really pay attention to the guy that pays the ultimate price. And all veterans, combat vets especially, love peace more than any hairy-legged hippie I've ever met in my life. Because we know what the other side of that is.
Give her my regards. Till old Spider got tangled in the black web that he spun. You can tell her the spider got tangled in the black web that he spun.